Hi friends, Renee Keys here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you. Today I am back, I've done this before, but I'm playing with Friends for Life. This suite has a variety of stamps. There are dies. I'm going to show you a couple of dies because I'm going to use some today. But what I'm really trying to feature is the paper that comes with this. It's called Full of Life. You can see it's very bright and colorful. Let me just flip through some of these so you get an idea. Lots of colors. You can pick a lot of different colored cardstock to work with these. These circles always remind me of the artist Kandinsky and his style of work. So I am going to use some of these papers today. My preference is not to use a big piece of it. It can be kind of bold. So I'm going to show a way to showcase a little bit of the paper using it in smaller pieces. I am using the cute little heart die, and this is where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to feature this. So the first thing I want to do is a little bit of die cutting so then I can move my Stampin' Emboss machine out of the way. So let me flip down to my work area here. You can see the stamp that I'm using, hopefully a little bit of the paper showing there. But like I said, first thing, and I'm just going to die cut this in white. You could pick a different color. We'll see how this comes together because I'm using some pretty bold colors for my card base and matting. So I just wanted to go a little more subtle with my sentiment. Okay, now let me pull this out of my standard sandwich here. And this is interesting. It always has this little loop on the end that I have to cut off. It's just a part of this particular die, and then I'll show you what happens with the heart because there's another piece there. So now I can move this out of the way and show you my work area. So I've got Lemon Lime Twist for my card base. And let me show you what else. When you're die cutting these hearts, there's another piece here. So what you're going to see is when I punch this out, it gives me another heart shape to wrap around the heart. And I've been using these as a contrast. So if I've die cut this in one color, I can show you, I've done this before. Whether it's, here's one in, it might be Berry Burst or it's Petunia Pop. And this was with a die cut out of a designer paper. So you get a variety of these hearts that you can actually use for another card. But what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of, see the pretty rainbow? So that's actually the flip side. I'm going to use a strip of that. I'm going to mat one of these Kandinsky type papers, smaller pieces, and then I'm going to stamp on here, and then I'll decide where I think I want to put this. Maybe I'll put it all in the middle. I haven't decided yet. We'll get to that point in a minute. Okay, so I've also got two colors of ink. So like I said, this is Lemon Lime Twist. I'm matting this with Granny Apple Green, and you can see I've already die cut a few hearts there. So I'm sticking with these two ink colors, just not to get too crazy here. So I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday straight out of this stamp set. And I'm going to do that in Granny Apple Green. Could have done it in Lemon Lime Twist. Could have done it a lot of different ways. Okay, so I've got that. And I showed you I've got the two little hearts sitting here. There are two sizes of dies that will cut double hearts. And I've already punched out the smallest ones. They're kind of tiny, as you can see here. But they're going to get sprinkled on my sentiment, so it's an appropriate size. So I've done that. I'm going to stamp for the inside of my card as well. Since I've got Happy Birthday on the front, I was thinking, again, out of the stamp set, Best Wishes would be appropriate on the inside. So I think I'm going to use my Lemon Lime Twist for the word best. As soon as I get this inked up good. There we go. So it is, and it's fun because you can, well, it's going to get in my way. You could overlap these sentiments. I think I'm going to spread them out. So let's do this. Best. And then the word wishes. But now I'm going to switch to Granny Apple Green. So I have both colors, like that. And then to go with the hearts on the front, I think I'm going to go light green again. So this is the lemon lime twist. Nope, I think I want it in this corner. I'm going to put the big one over toward the corner and the little one there. So there we go. There's the inside of my card. And the last thing, I'm thinking I'm not going to use one of these. I still may change my mind. I wasn't thinking about using that. I'm just going to run some ink on the edges here. Let me get it in the middle and go around. I'm just putting a little bit of color. I'll show you the effect here in a minute when I get it all inked up. The more angle you hold it on, the more ink you'll get on there. Make sure I get that in. I'm having a hard time getting it in that crease, so I'm going to push it. I think that's good. So now my sentiment has just a touch of green on the edges. Okay, let me scoot inks out of the way since I'm done with that. I don't want to get it on me or anywhere else. So let me start assembling from the inside out. I'm going to dot my glue on the edges here. I try not to go too heavy. Make it light so it doesn't squeeze out. All right. And so now we can see the two shades of green. And here's my front. So let me flip my papers back over to see how I'm going to put this together. So I do want the strip. I want to have a reveal here, definitely. And then let me go ahead and mat this before I start playing with it. But you can again see the pretty rainbow here, and I'm going to use that. That would be a really pretty background using the whole piece. I may have to do that soon and stamp something different. So I'm thinking this here, a slight overlap there. And then I have to decide, or do I do it backwards? Quite often I put the heavier part on the right, and maybe I'm going to just I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to just reverse it. I don't normally do this. I like to work left to right for some reason, no apparent reason. So I'm going to completely switch this up today. Just see what happens. So again, this was the closest thing. I'm grabbing my liquid glue. I will probably grab my Stampin' Seal. Ooh, it slid. There we go. It should go edge to edge. Okay, and now for this, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And like I said, you saw how I already had die cut the little hearts out of there, making good use of my paper and cardstock. So I'm going to overlap this just a little bit. And now I'm ready to put my heart on there. And I like how it's going to overlap everything. I'm kind of putting that at a jaunty angle. Now, the decision is, and I think I'm going to pop the whole thing off. I'm going to use dimensionals behind this. So let me get those out and raise the entire heart off the card background, the card base, and give it some dimension here. And let's put one here. That should be enough to hold it. Okay, since my take your pick tool's right here, let's just flick these off, pulling them off at a slight angle, and then putting those in the trash. So I've got my sentiment. I'm featuring two different papers here. I'm going to glue down, put one there, and put one up top. Up here. And again, so that is contrasting with the color in the background. What I think now is I'll put some Wink of Stella just on the hearts. Ooh, it's wanting to move. That glue didn't set yet. Put some Wink of Stella on the hearts here. Give them a little shimmer. And if I'm very delicate, I'm just going to outline this to give it some shimmer. So if somebody's holding this and reading, a message, they're going to see it. I'm going to give this just a little sparkle too. Very subtle, very minimal. I mean, I hate to call, like I've said, I hate to call that a glitter pen because it's such a pretty shimmer. But now I can show you, because I raised it off, I don't think it'll work as well, but this could go around the heart there. So let me show you this completed project and then one I did yesterday in a completely different set of colors. So lemon lime twist, granny apple green, and then I used the granny apple for the die cut hearts. So just a sweet little birthday card. Here I went berry burst, pretty in pink, and I did make that rectangle bigger. This was like 1.25 inches. This is 1.5 inches, might even be 1.75 inches wide, and then matted it, and then did something similar on the inside. Best wishes in the 2 colors. So you get the, I mean, you can pick any color that you like with this paper. There's a whole list. You can go blues, you could go purples, you could go pinks, there are oranges. There's a lot of different ways to go, very different effect. And you see how I flip the cards. So easy layout, just a fun kind of modern, contemporary looking card. So something different for today. Thanks for joining me. If you like the products and the projects you see here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. I am on the Stampin' Up! Network. It's Renee Keast at stampinup.net. Thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned for the next video.